The MCP for Multi-Crew Podcast, your go-to destination for everything aviation. From the latest headlines to the quirkiest aviation stories, we'll cover it all. I'm Aiden, and alongside my co-host Alfie.
How's it going, guys? We'll bring you engaging discussions, including Aeroplane of the Week. So, buckle up, let's get started. Aviation headlines. Now, Aiden, I know you're a big fan of the A350 freighter, so I'm going to give you the pleasure of kickstarting this off, because it's an interesting section, this one, on the A350 freighter.
Yes, so big fan of the A350 freighter, the aircraft that doesn't exist yet. The programme has yet again been postponed and pushed back another year, a whole 12 months. This is due to supply chain issues, and this has been the case since the pandemic. What's the word? Pandemic. That word. Since that ended. So one of the issues that comes to mind is a company called Aero Systems Spirit, who are one of the world's largest manufacturers of aero structures. Yet they are on their knees financially, and only in financial terms. This has led to the A350 fuselage sections being delayed and behind schedule, which has impacted Airbus's programs to ramp up the production of the A350 aircraft and therefore start the program of the A350 freighter.
Yeah.
So all A350s are affected.
Now, I'm thinking, well, what's your opinion on the A350 freighter program? Do you think we need an A350 freighter?
Yes.
Why?
It's another freighter aircraft. Isn't it?
It is.
We've got the 777. You might as well have the rival, the A350.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I'm a much bigger fan of the Boeing freighters. Mind you, the Airbus ones, they had the A330, the A330, A300 as well, which was the only Airbus with a yoke, I think it was. Because the A330 had a yoke and then the A310 started. Not the A330, sorry, correction. A300, yeah. No, but I personally think the A350 program's a little bit like, I don't know. I don't think it's an ideal thing.
I think many people would disagree with you. That's an aircraft of the future.
Certainly, but yeah, that's my opinion. Anyway, moving on from that rather interesting news, Southwest has joined the IATA, making the IATA more than 340 airlines each members, including the three big US legacy carriers such as United, Delta and American Airlines. So what are the benefits of this membership? Well, firstly, it helps with making new connections with industry stakeholders through the conferences conferences it hosts. It also helps with expansion of internal recognitions by maintaining relationships with governments and other industry stakeholders. So, the IATA or IATA, what is it?
International Aviation Transport Association?
Yeah, something like that. And like this, I'll be honest, Aiden, I did ask you because I couldn't remember what it was.
Stand by.
Aiden looks at
I was correct.
340 airlines are obviously part of all members of it. So it's like one big organisation, and also that's where you get your airport codes from as well. So like BHX for Birmingham, isn't it?
LGH or LHR?
LHR for Heathrow, yeah. So
LGW.
you get all that stuff as well. But it's good. It's good for the airline industry and kind of like basically helps the companies grow and stay afloat, because aviation is not an easy industry to run a business in.
No.
Is it?
No. I tried starting an airline, it didn't work.
Yeah. Damn, it went crashing down.
It did. Just like the 737 MAX.
Yeah, just like the many 737 Maxes.
Rip.
Yeah, so that is the aviation headlines for the week.
For week, yes.
Now,
At the time of recording.
At the time of recording.
At the time of recording.
Now, again, we bring up the aircraft of the week, which is the, drumroll please, A350.
Well, hey, A350
We spoke about it all.
special.
Yeah, it is the A350 special. Aiden really wanted this aircraft. I'm assuming, number one, because you like it, and number two, because of Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yes, the A350 came out just after writing the script for this episode.
And I just want to
But
say
it has been out for 2 weeks now.
The first video Aiden sent us of the A350 wasn't of the aeroplane. It was of the interior, but more specifically the toilet.
Yes,
He
because
went-
it flushes.
It flushes. He went into the toilet, closed the door. He didn't sit down, so I don't know what he did. But there was a button. He pressed the button, and the toilet flushed
It did.
in a simulator. Like
Brilliant.
It's crazy.
I
isn't
think,
it?
yeah. You can use the flight attendant's tablet as well. You can sit in all the seats. Unfortunately, the overhead lights don't work, which is a negative. And I
But-
can't open the
yeah.
cabin bins. but
How dare they?
I know.
How
Can close the curtains. So,
It's pretty cool. Though.
yeah, all toilets work, which is big positive.
I've not actually been round to fly the A350 yet, so I'll get my.
It's currently on its way to Innsbruck from Doha,
All
Qatar.
right. And who's flying it?
Sebastian.
Oh, is he there at the
Yeah,
moment?
he's pilot in command
Oh, I
currently.
thought you just whacked it on autopilot and said.
Oh, it's on
"No,
that as well.
I'm
but-
going to come to the podcast and not fly the aircraft. Anyway, we're getting
Standard.
sidetracked.
We are.
The A350. We're diverting into one of the most advanced wide-body jets in the sky, which it is because it's like quite a new thing and it looks so futuristic and cool and amazing.
And amazing.
First introduced in 2013 and entering commercial service with Qatar in 2015, the A350 was Airbus's answer to the growing demand for a more efficient, long-range airliner. So, at the time, it was competition for the 787 and still is, isn't it?
Mhm.
But now with the A350 1000, that's
Whoa,
the
big boy.
777X's competition, isn't it?
And
So the
777X hasn't even launched.
Exactly. I mean, it's had a few flights, but I think isn't
It's
it?
all still in testing.
Yeah. When is it due to be launched? I can't remember. We spoke about
It got
it.
delayed by 4 months, so it's probably going to be out in 2027. Wait.
I mean, I can't wait to see them fly. But then I say that they're just going to look like any other 777 until you go to an
Until-
airport and see
yeah.
that folded up winglet. Which is
Precisely.
pretty cool. The A350. Now this is cool. Stands out for its carbon fiber reinforced polymer fuselage, making it lighter and more fuel efficient. In fact, it's about 25% more fuel efficient than previous generation aircraft, a win for both the airlines and the environment. Yeah, fuel efficiency is a very, very, very important thing in aviation because fuel efficiency is what makes your tickets cheaper, effectively.
Precisely.
And you want a more fuel efficient aircraft because you obviously want cheaper tickets, and also for the environmentalists out there, you also want more fuel efficient, so you can save more of the environment by doing more flying.
I mean, they still use a lot of fuel. Like in the cruise, well, guess how much tonnage of fuel it uses per engine per hour.
Oh god, I couldn't. It's
Ha-
gonna be
have a random guess.
how many tons?
Yep.
An hour, 3-4 tons an hour.
7.
7
engine.
tons
So
per engine.
14 tons of fuel it uses in cruise per
That is
hour.
Crazy.
So for a 10-hour flight, you're looking at 140 tons.
Isn't that absolutely ridiculous? But spread across the whole airplane, I don't know how many people are on it. I'm assuming it's gonna
It's about 350.
350 people. When you spread it across like the 350, the carbon footprint, it makes it a little bit better.
Just a little
A
bit.
little bit better, but obviously it's still melting ice in places that ice shouldn't be melting, such as the Antarctic and places like
I
that.
totally misheard what you said. I thought you said in places I shouldn't be going. And I was like,
No, in
I
places
thought it's primary schools. I can't.
No,
There's no ice
I
on
certainly
those.
should be going there, but Aiden, you've been going there, haven't you, Ian?
Yes, it's for my son. Anyway, so yeah, it has wings, and these are a marvel of engineering, built by these composite materials, which allows for a unique and flexible design that adjusts to reduce drag and improve efficiency during flights. Plus, it's powered by the powerful and yet efficient. What engines do I use?
Rolls-Royce Trent XWB, which stands for extra wide body. So actually, they are
wide, chunky
they're so
monkey.
big and
Juicy.
funky and just, Remember when we went to Heathrow and there was a British Airways A350 1000,
There was indeed.
which has the XWBs. Oh my God, they sound incredible because they make a roar.
Raw.
They don't. It's not like a fighter jet roar where you can feel it, but it's like the fan at the front just it just sounds absolutely incredible. And another fun fact, they are the most efficient jet engines ever made.
Wow.
And
Mind blown.
yeah, no, and they're very large.
Very large.
With a range of up to 9,700 nautical miles, the A350 900 ULR, which stands for ultra long range,
Good show.
this version holds the title for the world's longest commercial flight, Singapore to New York, clocking in around 19 hours, non-stop. I feel like for a 19-hour flight, if you go with economy, then it's like certain death.
Well, it actually is. There's a scientific.
Fact.
No, it's
or
a
study.
scientific thing you can get called deep vein thrombosis.
Yes,
from
DVT.
Yeah, from staying still and your blood basically clotting in the bottom. And
Mm.
then the clot can break up and enter the heart and cause death. So,
Yeah.
yes,
It can cause
it
death.
can actually cause death.
So what we recommend you do on these flights is you get up and you walk. You go
Wiggle
to
the
the
legs
toilet
out.
every half an hour.
Because
or
those toilets 100% work.
they do.
Just like the A350 in Microsoft Flight
if
Sim.
they work on Microsoft Flight Simulator, I'm sure you won't have an issue using the bog in an A350 in real life.
Precisely.
But I will be honest with you, Aiden, I'm glad you picked the A350 for this section because I wanted to learn a little bit more about it, and it's just such a fascinating plane, and especially it's like one of the like the proper new ones as well that maybe one day I'll be flying.
Precisely.
And some
Because like it was what its first flight was. It was first induced in 2013, so it's already 12 years old. But it's still really new in terms of aviation.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, think about it. We've still got A300s flying from
exactly.
What were they back the 90s? Were they something around there? Yeah, you still got some MD-11 somewhere for like FedEx and places. You know, realistically,
1972.
1972.
And I mean, you've still got the B-52. That's still flying. That's
That
almost 100 years old now.
It was that came out 1960, I believe. So, but they said it is going to be the first military aircraft to go through the century barrier because Rolls-Royce are developing some new engines. I think they're called the Rolls-Royce F-150 engines or something like that. But they're a lot more fuel efficient and they don't make as much black smoke now.
I just searched Rolls-Royce F-150 and it's come up with a 2025 Ford F-150 Raptor.
Yeah, that is a pickup truck. What were
Yes.
the Rolls-Royce engines? I can't remember what they were. There was something along them lines.
It's a nice looking pickup truck, though.
Yeah, they are. That's the song where you hear like.
I think this is where we plug ourselves and say like, subscribe, so we can buy ourselves a podcast 2025 Ford F-150 Raptor.
That would be cool. And if you want to give us a bit more money as well, we can actually go for the Hennessy Raptor, which has got a huge, stonking great V8 in it. And there is also one which has got 6 wheels as well. So if you want to give us some more money to get a 6-wheel one, then please go ahead. Contact Aiden on his LinkedIn or his OnlyFans, whatever he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, that's how I'm getting my money now. It's not generating nearly as much.
Is it the
as I
feed
thought.
pics?
It is actually.
Yeah.
I managed to get £5.
£5.
Yeah.
Now, did you give the people £5 so they could see it, or did they give you the £5?
Oh no, I just made a new account and bought my own feet pics.
Ah,
That's what I did.
fantastic.
It is. Well, you know,
that, ladies and gentlemen, is how
got to
we
spend money to make money, haven't you?
That is how we are going to afford to get through our flight training.
Selling feet pics.
Aiden's feet. So please go on there and
Please buy my feet
like
pics.
it. Anyway,
Digressing.
we kind of went on a bit of a tangent there. Back to the A350. You'll find the A350 with many of the top airlines, such as Qatar Airways, Singapore Airlines, Delta, Lufthansa, Virgin Atlantic, British Airways, just to name a few. It's especially popular on long haul and ultra long haul flights. Like we mentioned earlier, the Singapore to New York. God, that must be treacherous, that journey.
Yes. Wonder how much fuel they burn.
Oh, God,
Well,
it's just
could do the maths, but I'm not.
yeah. My mental maths ability
I'm
is
going to do it anyway.
just that well, there isn't an ability actually. It's just not there. Anyway, moving on from that, we come on to our next section, which is questions from the flight deck, which is a fantastic section where the audience gets to learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes and what goes on about with airlines, aviation in general. So we come to our first question, and this is a question that a lot of people do actually ask, and they say, can a passenger land a commercial airliner if both pilots become incapacitated? While it is highly unlikely both the pilots will become incapacitated, a calm, well-instructed passenger could land an aeroplane with the help of air traffic control. Modern planes have autopilot features that assist with descent and approach, and air traffic control could guide somebody step by step. However, in reality, it'd be extremely difficult without prior training, because if a random person from the street, let's say
Sally.
Deirdre in the bungalow across you,
Yes.
she
Deirdre.
got in the cockpit of an Airbus A350, she is not going to know what to do.
No.
To be honest, yeah. I mean, you'd need to have at least a little bit of knowledge to be able to do something like that. But air traffic control will tell you where like everything is, and they will tell you what to do. But the chances of this happening are so little that it's just not really going to happen. Is
I
it?
mean, there's many factors against us. The first factor is, well, if both pilots have become incapacitated at the same time in the cockpit, but no one's going to land the aircraft because no one's going to be able to get into the cockpit.
That is a very good point.
Which is a very good point.
Because you need to, the pilots need to open the cockpit. Don't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
But there are other factors. You know, if it's a nice calm day, you know, all the nines, 50k visibility, you'll probably be chilling. But if it's a tornado on the horizon, storm at ditch,
if it's a gusty breeze,
we might be struggling on that one. But anyway, our next question: why do some aircraft have a small spiral painted inside the aircraft's engine or its intake? Well, it's not just for looks, Alfie. It's in fact a safety feature. When the engines are running, the spiral causes a visible spinning motion, warning ground crew to stay away from the dangerous intakes. And it also helps birds visually recognise the moving parts, reducing the risk of bird strikes, because apparently birds can't see a plane.
Well, birds are a little bit stupid, aren't they? I mean, I've been driving along sometimes in the dark, and you got your lights on, and you just see a bloody pheasant walk out on the road. Pat your horn, he just looks at the car and like, oh, there's a car coming towards me. I'm going to stay right here.
That's exactly what it says, yes.
Literal game of chicken.
Yeah.
With what might as well be a chicken.
I like that. Game of chicken. That was smart. Hey, I like that. I saw a video a few days ago of an airliner. Don't know what airliner. It was taken inside the aircraft. And a bird gets sucked through the intake just before V1. And the aircraft there performs at high speed. What's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say deportation of takeoff, but that's not the word. Rejection. Rejected takeoff. Yes. RTA.
Just after V1 as well.
Just before.
Oh, just before. Sorry, I thought you said just. Yeah, just before V1. So if he would have got to V1, then I'm afraid it would have been a takeoff.
It would have been, yes.
And who knows what could have happened there? We could have had another incident on the news, which is never any good for people who are a little bit timid of flying.
But it's good for our podcast.
Have you?
Gives us content.
Yeah. So different patterns on engine intakes include you get a little spiral. Sometimes you get a line. Sometimes you get a dot. Sometimes you get 2 dots.
Yeah.
Lots of different things.
We haven't came up with a 3 dot yet.
We haven't.
That's a bit too pushing it.
Yeah, it is a bit too pushing it. But before we move on from this, there is an interesting thing. Have you ever seen a military jet take the Galaxy C5 or in Russia the Antonov? They don't actually have a spiral on the engines.
Intriguing.
Which is an interesting one. I think, actually, I'll say that. I think I have seen an Antonov with the spirals on the engine. But I know the Galaxy C5 doesn't. Because that's just a weird. I don't even know what engines it's got, to be honest. And that's a disappointment from me, because I'm the engine man usually. Anyway, enough about lines on the inside of an engine intake. What happens if a plane door opens mid-flight? Well, this is an interesting thing.
Yes.
Despite what movies show, and movies do show a lot, you cannot open an airplane door in flight at cruising altitude. This is because the cabin is pressurized, meaning the force holding the door shut is far greater than any human could overcome. Think about it in this way. As you climb, the pressure inside of the aircraft will pretty much stay the same as the outside up until 10,000 feet, right? Or about 7,000 feet, usually in modern aircrafts now. You've got that atmosphere is, it's got more pressure than the outside. It's a bit like the principle of a balloon. That's the reason why you can blow a balloon up, basically. So as you go up higher, the pressure will expand on the outside, on the inside of the jet, which kind of like, in a way, makes it like a flying bomb almost, because there's so much pressure inside. So when it gets up, if you try to open the doors work in such a way that they actually have to be pushed in to close them. So it basically, through physics, just won't allow even a gorilla to open the door.
Ooh,
Yeah, so
that's my best impression.
But hypothetically, if Arnold Schwarzenegger came and opened the door mid-flight with his minigun in his hand, what would happen? So there'd be a massive rush of air, potentially dangerous decompression, but not necessarily an instant catastrophe. So remember how we just said about the pressure inside of the airplane? All that is going to try to escape the second it gets the opportunity to. And the second that door opens, all of it's going to be forced out, which is what you call a rapid decompression.
Correct.
And that is what makes people pass out in the air. So you'll have rapid decompression, you'll pass out, and then next thing you know, you're at 10,000 feet because the pilots are very skilled. Yeah, so that is actually what happens. And now we're on to our next section. Now, I added this section because I thought this would be quite an interesting one to put on an aviation podcast. Myth busting.
You do realise that's just for a second. Just have a look at the first myth busting one.
The first myth busting one
is exactly
Aiden
the same as what we've just spoken about.
It is exactly the same as we just spoke about.
Cabin pressurizations.
Aiden, do you want to do the explaining this time?
No, I think we'll just move on to the next one.
Yeah,
so let's pretend we never said any of that and said, well, what about emergency exits? Can they be open mid-flight? Well, even the overwing and emergency exits work on a plug door system, meaning that they have to be pulled inwards first to be pushed out. Since the pressure inside of them is keeping it sealed, they cannot be pulled inwards during flight. However, they can be on the ground, and there are many videos of people pulling the emergency exits on the ground and then running.
Can I just say, if you do that, number one, you are what I like to call a penis. And number two, you get fined as well, don't you?
I'd hope so.
I think you. I know on a train.
I hope you get a bit more than an ASBO.
Yeah. If yeah, because I know on a train, if you pull the lever, then you get like a slap on the wrist from ops. But other than that,
Sorry,
ops. Yeah.
Who are the ops, Miss?
The transport police.
You mean BTP?
BTP and the train driver, whoever he may be, or she may be. We don't know. Yeah, but like we said, the plug door system, I kind of explained it earlier, but it means that no one can open the door. Not even a hydraulic press probably could. Anyway, enough about doors, enough about pressure, enough about physics. It is time. Aiden, do you want to take this one away?
Yes, we've got another myth-busting one. So, can pilots really sleep in the cockpit? Well, in theory they can. It's called controlled rest in seat, where one pilot naps and the other one remains fully alert. These naps are normally short, from 10 to 14 minutes, to prevent deep sleep grogginess. that as a technical term.
Mm.
On ultra-long-haul flights, airliners have a designated rest area with lie-flat beds for pilots to take turns sleeping, and also the cabin crew. In some cases, there might be a relief flight crew that will take over while the main pilots actually rest. So yes, pilots can sleep in the cockpit, but it's structured and very safe.
It is very safe. So don't be alarmed if you hear a
Alarms.
cabin announcement and it goes. It's just the pilot
It's
having
just-
a
it's just a little bit
14-minute
of snap.
break.
Just a little nap, even,
Yeah.
not snap.
Right. Shall we finish this podcast off with the flight facts quiz?
I think we should.
And I think you should take it away.
All right. So the answer from last week's, or the question from last week's podcast was, what was the first jet-powered aircraft to enter service with the Royal Air Force? And the answer was the Gloucester Meteor. It became operational with the number 616 Squadron in 2000. No, not in 2000. On the 27th of July in 1944, whole 66 years before 2000. And this was during World War II.
I have had the pleasure of seeing that aircraft before. The black one. I don't remember what the reg was, but it was at Riyadh. With
The
a-
one used by Martin Baker for their ejection seats.
Maybe, I'm not too sure.
They're the
It was
black one.
it was the one that was at Riyadh.
Mm.
It was next to a Messerschmitt. Is it a 262 or 363?
I thought it was a 290. I don't know.
Can't remember.
One
which
of the
it is.
five.
Yeah, one of the many combination of numbers.
262.
262. I thought it was, yeah,
Mm.
262. With some BMW jet engines,
Correct.
which is very cool.
So
And
yeah.
it was the first, because we need to talk about that very, very quickly.
Mm.
The Messerschmitt Me-262 was the first operational fighter jet with jet engines.
It was.
And
Good
then
shout.
and then
Zoom.
came along the Gloucester Meteor,
Mm.
pretty much. Anyway, let's do the question for this week. What do pilots use to control the direction of an airliner while it's on the ground? Is it A, wings? Is it B, rudder? C, yoke? Or is it D, the tiller?
Well, you find out the answer right after the break.
We will. And that
Dun,
break
dun.
is going to be a week.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, what's the answer? Any ideas, Alfie?
I
Even
mean,
though you can't say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what the answer is.
Yeah.
But
So do
I'm
I.
not going to tell any of you because
No.
you can figure it out yourselves.
Well, that would kind of get rid of the point of this, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Precisely.
As it wouldn't be a flight facts quiz. It should be the fun flight facts quiz.
It should be.
Get
Is that not what it's called?
FFQ. Do another do like
Another-
an abbreviation.
Yeah, FFFQ. Mm.
Now this is where we have our awkward moment where we say goodbye because we never actually know what to say. But goodbye, like, share, subscribe, tell your nan, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your dog, tell your animal, whatever you may have.
Totally unrelated, but what's your thoughts on kiwis?
What's my thought on kiwis? What? The fruit
The
or
fruits.
the animal?
The fruit.
The fruit. I like a kiwi.
You like
I do
kiwi?
like a kiwi.
Do you
I'll
have
be
your
honest.
kiwi with skin on or skin off?
Both. It depends what
Ooh,
mood I'm
ooh,
in.
shit.
If I'm feeling a little bit
furry.
ravenous, then I'll probably go for a.
Christ on
I'll go
earth.
for a straight bite rather than
Wow.
the typical spoon
Spoon it.
it out method.
Christ. Don't
Yeah.
want to get
What about
you.
you? Do you like a
I'm
kiwi?
a big fan of a kiwi. Do like a good kiwi.
Do you like a lime?
Just a pure lime.
Just a pure lime?
Yeah, I do actually. I like to eat a nice little bit of lime. A bit
Mm.
of yeah. My dog also likes to eat limes. He then spits it out and then continues trying to eat it while
You don't
spitting
eat
it
it
out.
after though, do you?
No,
You
no,
just
no,
spat
no,
it out.
no.
Okay, good.
No, I don't.
Just wanted to clarify
No,
that.
we don't
ladies and
share
gentlemen.
limes, me and my dog.
No.
Not a common snack for us.
Yes.
What other fruits?
Mangoes.
I'm a big fan of a mango. We had two turn up in my flat, and I was a bit confused. But do you like a mango?
You
Someone-
had 2 turn up, or you had 2 ton of mango?
No, just two turn up, not
I
two
think you had
tons.
2 ton of mango.
2 tons of
turn-ups.
mango. That'd be a lot of mango chutney.
This is definitely about aviation, by the way, everybody. I just
Mm.
wanted to know because
Sorry, it just came to mind.
all
Kiwis.
pilots have got a favourite fruit.
Yeah, it's a known fact.
Certainly. What's your favourite meat, Aiden?
Oh, my favourite meat.
Mine not included.
um, so are we asking favourite like type, as in like just beef,
Just
lamb?
type. We don't need
We
to
don't
go
need
into
certain cuts.
specifics.
Okay, I'm a big fan of pork.
A pork man.
I'm a big pork man.
You see, I've become more of a pork man
Mm.
ever since I decided I didn't like chicken.
Mm.
I
And would
kinda-
you say being a pork man has make you porkier?
No, actually,
No?
I would say no. I'd say not. I mean,
Myth busted.
it's certainly well, it's probably gave me a tapeworm from bad cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been there.
but other than that, I think no. I mean, pork. What else we got? Got gammon.
Gammon's
Gam-
alright. Gammon's alright. Not a fan of lamb. I find lamb's a bit of a B
Lamb,
tier
lamb is
meat.
lamb is an interesting one. It's a very fatty meat. I do
Yeah.
like lamb. I like a hunk of
I've
it.
got to be proper in the mood for a bit of lamb.
Mm. You ever been to like a Toby Carvery and they have lamb there, and you just have it and you say, look, just slather it on the plate, get it on there,
Don't think
Just
I have. No.
make it rain
I
lamb.
think they've only ever had pork, beef, or gammon when I've pulled up.
I think if
the
you go on
Toby.
if you go on a Wednesday, I think they actually do have lamb there.
Is it what, a Wednesday special?
I think it is the
Wednesday lamb
Wednesday
special.
special.
I thought I thought Wednesday was curry night.
What, a Toby Carvery?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Anyway,
After that tangent,
yes, and that certainly was a
it
tangent,
was a
wasn't
marginal tangent started by a Kiwi, ending up
Yes.
in lamb.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like, subscribe, share to your nan, and think about the fun fact quiz. And
I think we should remind them about the fun fact quiz. 'cause
yeah,
I think
just one
we've
more
kind of
time.
Okay. What do pilots use to control the direction of an airliner while it is on the ground?
And we are on about an airliner, not a general aviation aircraft,
Yeah.
because there is a difference.
There is a difference
In the
between a
answer.
Cessna and an airliner.
Yes.
The difference. Okay. The
Answers.
answers. Is it A, wings? Is it B, rudder? Is it C, yoke? Is it D, tiller? And that's it.
That's it. That's all of them. So on that note,
On
goodbye
that
and
bombshell.
goodbye and
Yes, we shall.
something else,
Goodbye.
good-
Farewell.
and
Auf Wiedersehen.
catch you later.
Whatever the Sound of Music thing goes.
Have you seen us? I don't know.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, we'll
Take
leave
care,
it there.
everybody. Much love and goodbye.
Peace up.
A-Town.